Welcome back, everybody, to this Omega Gaming Esports broadcast of the Upsurge Minor Leagues playoff series between Ignitus Esports and Omega Gaming Ice. I'm the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude here, and as we've loaded up here into Pro Draft, we're getting ready for an exciting game number 2 between the number 2 seed Ignitus Esports and the number 3 seed from the Ocean Division, our good old friends Omega Gaming Ice. Rude Dude, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. And just for the guys at home, in case anybody's a little bit confused about the pro draft, we've got Omega Gaming Ice going to be on the blue side for this particular game, and it is going to be Ignitus Esports on the red side. Obviously, the
Yeah.
names are a little bit us and them, a little bit memey, a little bit troll in the pro draft, but just so that you guys are not confused, that's the situation that we've got here. And Ice here gonna pick themselves up the 200 years champion, Aphelios Amimios, the legend himself, gonna come through as the first pick, answered, looks like, by this Ezreal.
Imagine that, Rude Dude. We get to see the Aphelios Ezreal matchup. I cannot wait.
Just such a variety of bot laners that we can see at the moment with Ash banned. It's so great to see just different ADCs coming into their own.
Yeah,
Don't feels like I've not
it's
seen an Aphelios in 200 years almost. Like
it's
such
a
a
new
while.
meta. It's a new meta. Let me tell you. Yeah, okay. Well, as we have this matchup between them and us coming through here, we do see the Nautilus getting picked up and paired with the Ezreal here, so that we'll be able to give that Ezreal a little more security here. For those engages, I think that it does pair well into picks like the Thresh. Now, obviously, we do see that banned away here, and I think rightly so from the side of Ignitus Esports. Ban Gito was absolutely popping off on that pick there in game number 1, so no surprise that that is coming through as the ban there. But we do get the Alistar hovered here now for Ban Gito. It's going to be interesting to see him and his mechanics here on this champion. Alistar, a very fun champion to watch in League of Legends. So very excited to see that one coming right on through for us right here. And overall, this draft going pretty standard. Nothing absolutely too out of the way or out of the crazy here. Coming on through, Kane though getting picked up here for Supermark in the jungle, looking to kind of scale maybe a little more towards the late game.
Yeah, exactly. And I really want to see this get locked in. Karthus gets locked in. Ladies and gentlemen, this champion is ridiculously strong right now. Can't touch on this enough. Karthus in a solo lane, in a bot lane, anywhere you can put him. I want to see Karthus's all over the world, LEC, pro play, everywhere that it can. Got so many buffs recently in this last patch to make him a better laner, but still is a really strong jungler. So I'm happy that they've brought it out. Ignitus, fulfilling my dreams. I've been spamming this in solo queue. Such a strong champion, but yes, we'll touch on the Karthus more when we get in game, when we know where it's going, so I can talk about its strengths and weaknesses in that particular role as we get there. But we mentioned the Supermark on the Kane, here. We saw it last week when he managed to invade early on using his advantage or using Kane in a niche pickup when he was against a Kai'Sa jungle, I believe, that ended up going Runic Echoes. But we've seen Kane, Supermark on this pick, be aggressive and manage to pick himself up to form when he needs to, going it for invades, picking up kills and getting his form really early on. And we'll have to see. That's a really interesting ban from Ice right there, because in my own opinion, Silas is what I'd call the pretty decent counter to Karthus, but they're probably banning it away just so the Ignitus here don't pick it up in this R4 pick. So makes a lot of sense actually. Thinking about it, we'll have to wait and see what they go for in this R4 pick.
And they do ban away the Diana as well. The Vladimir and Zoe getting banned away from the side of Ignitus Esports, trying to take away a few more of the scaling options here for Omega Gaming Ice, as they've yet to pick themselves up a mid or a top laner. So, pick coming in, Shen gets the hover here, and I'll put it this way: I do not like blind picking Shen. I don't. I think that there are way too many matchups where he can be exploited. Darius, Set, some of the more common top laners that we do see. Gangplank, though, going to get hovered up here for the side of Omega Gaming Ice to see Koros on that pick. We'll have a little bit of, global pressure himself there with the Cannon Barrage to kind of answer maybe some of the, teleports and, ultimates that come out from this Shen with the slow that comes off of it as well. Mid lane pick will be the Cassiopeia. So, just a lot of scaling coming out here from the side of Omega Gaming Ice. This Kane, though, is going to want to be able to impact some of these lanes early to get his form early, which is, really does speak, I think, to the playstyle of Supermark and how it does kind of fit in with the early game meta that we see in League of Legends right now. So picking up all these scaling picks as well does give them a little bit of late game insurance. And, if you're able to get and win an early game with a late game scaling composition, it really, really does wonders for you and really increases your chances of taking home the victory. And Yasuo with the hover here from, not a hover anymore. That'll be a lock in. Ignitus Esports going to pick themselves up the swordsman there in the mid lane to play up against this Cassiopeia.
Yeah, so Cassiopeia actually has a really tough time versus Yasuo. You just think about it simply. First of all, the wind wall is going to counter all of Cassiopeia's damage. Everything that Cassiopeia has to throw at the Yasuo, other than the Noxious Blast, that Q, is going to be passing through that wind wall. And also with the mobility that Yasuo has, the sweeping blade is going to be coming through. It does make hitting Qs on Cassiopeia really difficult for Shmer to be in this mid lane. So we'll have to see if this Yasuo counter matchup here is able to find any success, and really look for it early on in these level 2, level 3 trades when Cassiopeia doesn't have a tier, doesn't have any items to speak of particularly. If Yasuo is able to punish this early game right now.
Indeed here. And just overall, I mean, you look at some of the global ultimates here from the side of Ignitus Esports. If they're able to take away the early game here, obviously there's not a whole lot of proactiveness. The ganks from Karthus are not necessarily anything to, give a double take look at. But overall, they do have the ability, I think, to be able to impact these lanes even without being there. So just having that global pressure and having that global presence is something that you're going to have to be respectful of if you are playing, to put some pressure on the enemy with this Kane in the early game. So I'm going to be interested to see exactly how Omega Gaming Ice does kind of play around that knowledge, right? Knowing that the Karthus has his ultimate, Chen has his ultimate to be able to impact those lanes whenever they want to.
Yeah, and just quickly touching on that Kane once again, this Karthus pickup is something that can get punished by a Kane, obviously. Karthus isn't the strongest early game dueler, wants to get himself that Runic Echoes before he really does anything in a game, and we'll have to see if Supermark is going to be forcing his way into the enemy jungle once again. We saw it last game, Graves versus Kindred, even more volatile matchup. Went in for the invade on the blue buff to steal that away, get themselves the first blood. We'll have to see if he goes for a similar style this game, or whether or not he's going to be looking to let the Karthus scale up with the Kane. Not something that I'd advise, but definitely could be an option, because Kane, as we mentioned, not the strongest champion in the early game.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I think that this game is going to really come down to the solo lanes, particularly top and mid. If they're able to have priority in their lane, if they're able to pull the map into a state where they're considered winning lane, just with a constant priority, being able to shove the waves into the Yasuo, into the Shen, I think that it's really going to unlock this Kane to be able to do what he wants to do, to be able to punish this Karthus early. So, they need to play through those lanes. They need to have that priority to be able to get this Kane unlocked. I think that is really what it's going to come down to at the end of the day. But ladies and gentlemen, as we're getting ready for our countdown into the spectator delay for competitive integrity, we're going to be signing off for a quick intermission. We will be back in about 5 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Do not change that browser. Do not go anywhere. And we will be right back after the break, and we will see you on Summoner's Rift. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 2 of the UML playoff bracket matchup between Omega Gaming Ice and Ignitus Esports. And Omega Gaming Ice there running the house in game number 1, running away with a quick victory in 31 minutes and almost 20k gold. So Omega Gaming Ice really putting themselves out there saying, okay, Ignitus, show us what you got. Let's see it.
Yeah, they've opted this time looking for a very strong late game scaling comp. Obviously, last game they scaled super well into the late game as well, but this time you just feel like they have a little bit of an extra edge. You know, Cassiopeia going to be able to acquire 6 full items, not needing boots. Aphelios is Aphelios, and GP in the late game does an immeasurable amount of damage with those powder kegs if he's able to do so. But little fight in this mid lane early on. Schmidby might be in danger.
Looking for a little bit of damage here. Kind of a little bit of shenanigans coming out here early on. Both teams just kind of duking it back out here a little bit early on. Nothing too crazy, though. No summoner spells blown. Health bar is not too low here, so both teams just going to back off, waiting for the lanes, waiting for the minions to walk on up.
Exactly. Schmidby does take the majority or the most damage right there, which means that he's going to be in a little bit of a disadvantage, but does have the taste of blood. So there you go. You see there, just by autoing Aethys on this Yasuo, he is able to pick himself up a nice little chunk of HP. And interestingly enough here, Peanut starting on his bot side, on his top side rather, apologies, going to be picking up that red buff into Golems. Looks like he's going to be doing a full clear here. Not getting his blue buff early on, something that Carthus normally do need, but Waffle caught.
Oh, finding the dredge line there on a waffle wheel. This might be a better pick here for Wizard of Diablo. Something that he can be a little more proactive on. Braum tends to be a little more of the disengagey type of supports. He's looking for opportunities to kind of turn fights or turn into counter engages here. Schmurderby, though, going to take a lot of damage, as Aethys will as well. Both of these mid laners really duking it out here early. The exhaust, though, going to land onto Aethys here pretty early. Is going to force his flash out. Nice flash forward from Schmurderby. That's first blood in the mid lane here, coming from Omega Gaming Ice. What a play.
Schmurderby with the solo kill in the mid lane. I was talking about this Yasuo being a counter pick. He shows that he does not care, picks up the solo kill, uses the flash and exhaust, flashes perfectly over the tornado thrown from Aethys, and even with the ignite, wasn't able to trade back onto Schmurder, picks himself up the solo kill, and look at the CS lead already, pops all that wave under the turret, gonna pick himself up the tier inside 3 minutes. This Cassiopeia is off to a wonderful start.
Yeah, it's exactly where she wants to be, especially being kind of a late game scaler in the mid lane, going for that Seraph's Embrace. Will we be able to get the early till here? Man, that just feels so bad. She's going to be able to stack that up really, really early on here. Supermark, though, looking for that Scuttle Crab is going to get found out here. Does not have his movement through the wall here. Cannot get on through. Flash still up. Will use it. Will fail it. And we'll have to go on through. Supermark will lose his summer spell, but not his life, and the Scuttle Crab going on over to the side of Ignitus Esports. So, they're not letting Supermark get away or run away with the early game. They're not letting him do what he wants to do here. So, good play here. Nice headbutt knock up here coming out from Banjito, but Peanut is there. The danger ping's coming through. They know it. They will just back off here. Huge wave, though, that they've got themselves stacked up. They really want to be able to push that under the tower, and they will be able to do so. So, good work there from Omega Gaming Ice. Up towards the top side of the map, things seem to be relatively even here. Slight CS advantage for the Gangplank, but nothing to scoff at just quite yet.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll quickly touch on these bot laners with that itemization. Both of them going for the Cull early on, and seen a lot of misconceptions about Cull, maybe thinking that it means that the guys are quite happy with just farming up. The reason that actually teams or ADCs in particular are starting to pick up this Cull is due to the recent change to how ADC, or the recent buff to all ADCs essentially, but I might have to hold it. There's gank bot.
Yeah, coming out, Banjito showing us what for here. The Ignite burn it down. Last auto will be able to find its way on a Wizard of Diablo. Waffle Wheel here, popping off the back of his support. The Alistar, Banjito here coming in with the knockups there, able to force out the flash, I believe as well there from Wizard of Diablo. So we'll be able to pick himself up a kill here early on the Aphelios. But, more about your point about Cull. With, as you were saying, right, ADCs, they have that buff where they're base HP was increased, and so you've seen a lot of people starting to take cut down in the secondary, or I'm sorry, in the primary rune tree under the secondary runes there. And so people are taking the call because essentially they're getting the same amount of HP, through the game as it's extended. Nice dredge line though on a waffle wheel. That's not going to turn into anything. But they get, they get a little more damage out of it as well with the cut down. So overall, it just ends up being better itemization for them. They still get a little bit of healing off the call, and you get yourself 300 gold as well.
Yeah, exactly. You get, I think, effectively 400 with the extra 1 gold per last hit as well, up to the 100 mark. And it really does work out as well if you manage to cause your enemy laner not to... If the enemy laner doesn't take Cull cut down, you get a health advantage, which is why the cut down is so useful. You get a health advantage versus the ADCs, meaning that you have a better time trading with them over coup de grace, because coup de grace really doesn't take effect in these upfront trades. For example, I had to sort of hold my bated breath right there. Wizard of Diablo was in range for the dredge line the entire time where the TP came through. Looks like there was definitely an angle of approach, but Waffle Wheel toying with fire right there, managing to get himself out alive, and looks like he's probably going to base it. Looks to have the money for BF Sword, plenty of it in fact. And he's actually stopping the recall to try and prevent this freeze from happening, but Diablo and Shin Kal here are in a great spot to freeze this wave right now and really cause some issues for Waffle Wheel and Banjito. Just with the wave positioning, we'll have to see if they can hold it, because it looks like might just get pushed back, and Supermark here looks like he's just going to take this Ocean Drake uncontested.
Yeah, complete control of the lanes there, which is exactly what I talked about earlier, Rude dude. If they have control of the lanes, just as they did in game number 1, Kane can do whatever he wants. And you see him there, level 4, just going on over to the Dragon Pit. He says, this Ocean Dragon, it's ours, it's mine. My laners are doing their jobs here. They're getting that priority that we need. And neutral objective going to go the way of Omega Gaming Ice here pretty early.
Yeah, that gives them the first Ocean Drake, with the Infernal Drake coming up in about 4.5 minutes, meaning we're going to get either a different soul at least. We're going to be getting Mountain or Cloud Soul, the two less prized souls overall, but definitely obviously have their use if you can get them. But a fight here.
Nice dredge line onto Banjito there, but it's going to get turned around here pretty quickly. Waffle Wheel here has the guns that he needs to be able to start off these fights exactly how he wants. Big damage there coming out onto Shin Kal. They could not even continue to engage, even despite the dredge line having landed onto Banjito. Overall, though, you've got this combination with the Alistar that can really take advantage of some of the shortcomings of the fact that you do have this Nautilus, and if he's using the dredge line to engage as opposed to get himself out into safety, it does kind of make it a one-way ticket trip, where if Waffle Wheel, who has more damage output than the Ezreal, as he's so reliant on his Qs in the early game especially, makes it a little bit difficult for you to get the kind of fights that you want on this Ezreal Nautilus bot lane. Yeah,
you're exactly right. They're really reliant on a jungle gank or something of that description. And just to quickly touch on the junglers here, this is where the main advantage for Ignitus is. Peanut sat at level 7, Supermark only level 5 right now, but gank mid.
Coming on in here to the mid lane, gonna find Shmur to be with knocked up there. True Shot Barrage doesn't matter. TL Peanut gonna pick himself up the kill there. Nice clean dive there from the side of Ignitus Esports with the roam from Wizard of Diablo. Will pick themselves up some pay back there in the mid lane.
Yeah, Shmurda not flashing the initial knockup, getting hit by the Yasuo Last Breath as well, really was what caused his downfall right there. And Wizard of Diablo walking this low HP might get punished from the bot lane, but they are just going to keep the wave in a position, and they're going to be able to probably dictate this lane.
Yep, level 6 there now. Alistar going to go in the moonlight. Vigil will land, but the damage is huge on the Waffle Wheel. Shin Kal will fall, and there it is. Trade of 80 carry for support here. Karthus ultimate getting used there as well, but the Requiem will not find its mark. Flash coming out from Banjito there onto Shin Kal. Will force out his flash as well. Peanut there with the rest of the disengage will be able to deny any follow-up coming onto Shin Kal. 1-for-1 trade in the bot lane, slightly going in favor of Ignitus Esports. Shmurda though now caught between a rock and a hard place, and he's going to be falling down here. There it is, the Karthus Qs finding their mark, a super mark. Oh, really, really close there. 100 HP will be able to shift through the wall.
Yeah, and really nice play here from Ignitus Esports. They're playing to their strong suit, which is this global effectiveness that they have. Requiem, Shentel, Stand United coming through means that this bot lane, Waffle Wheel Banjito, can't take a 2 versus 2 fairly. If they're going for a 2v2, they have to remember Shen's going to come in, and they also have to counter the Requiem as well. They do have Cannon Barrage on their side, but you saw it there. It was not even used, and even if it was, would have been ineffective in the outcome of that fight. Waffle Wheel did get himself a kill onto Wizard of Diablo, so wasn't all doom and gloom for Ice. They are still level in this game, and obviously leads across the lanes really. Obviously Schmurder B, off that first blood, hasn't been able to do too much, and he's really getting set back a bit.
Yep, coming back in though, there it is. Gonna be a nice petrifying gaze to be able to get himself to safety. The dredge line will not land, and Schmurder to be able to get himself back effectively. Cannon Barrage though now getting called out here. Supermark still not hitting his form. Will go in and take a lot of damage, but we'll have to back out. Wizard of Diablo there now going golden though. Do they have the damage? True Shot Barrage gonna barely miss Supermark, and that's a disengage from both sides here. A good Cannon Barrage to be able to get the disengage, and both teams will only lose health bars, but no one will actually fall at the end of the day.
Yeah, that is going to mean, though, that the priority in the Drake is up for grabs. Neither team trying to wrest control of it just yet. Looks like Peanut has recalled, so he's going to be healthy, ready to go. Supermark looking like he's going to walk up to his top side of the map with 15 seconds on this Drake. Not the side that you want to be on if you're trying to contest, so with priority down bot lane as well, Waffle Wheel and Banjito will be able to roam over and help out. We'll have to see whether or not Supermark diverts his way back down to this bot side in lieu of this Drake, as we see Peanut is ready to posture for it if he wants to.
They do have priority, and that is the one thing that is going for them here. They have priority in the bottom and the mid side of the map here. Obviously, Wizard of Diablo going a little bit too low for comfort there after the Cannon Barrage came down from Chorus, going golden there and just kind of walking out. But I think that the delay might be enough. The Kane here going right on back. Requiem going to get called out. Schmur to be pretty low here. Will fall as Atheist is able to put a blade right through his guts and take him down.
Nice. Well, I would say solo kill, but ultimately the Requiem did a lot of work in that particular fight. Nice kill in the mid lane for Ignitus, and Supermark is going to get caught.
Oh no. He's going for the steal, but the dredge line will find him. Peanut now on a killing spree here, Rude Dude. Karthus has, kind of hit that point now where he has become a win condition for this team. 3 kills now, 3-0-1. Has completed the Runic Echoes and the Sork Shoes as well. So this Karthus is going to start doing a lot of damage. I mean, we already saw it there with the Requiem knocking Schmur to be down by maybe about 300 to 400 health, I'd say. And, he's not even hit level 2 on that Karthus ultimate yet. So this Karthus only going to continue to keep getting stronger as this game continues to progress towards the late game. We see right now he does have 4 Dark Harvest stacks, so that is going to give him just a little bit of extra damage as well. So that's going to feel very, very good on him here. We do see that the current damage coming out from the Dark Harvest, I believe, is probably around the ballpark of about 80 right now. So just taking a look at the numbers there. So he's doing an extra 80 damage. So in effectiveness, right, when you consider this ultimate that he's got on this Karthus, he's actually doing quite a bit of damage on low health targets. He's going to be an absolute threat to be reckoned with, and it's going to really affect how this Omega Gaming Ice squad can react and play around the map.
Yeah, look at it, just already 3 level lead in this jungle right now, 50 CS advantage, and Supermark still doesn't have his form yet. He's still not really a champion, obviously. Original base Kane, not very strong, and Koros, however, is a gangplank and does have his Trinity Force. He's very strong currently. They look like Peanut is going to look for this Herald, and I think what might be happening with Supermark is he's waiting for the correct form. Might have blue form ready to go, but wants red, obviously, to help out, but looks like a fight could break out on this top side.
Yeah, might be looking for something here. I do just want to point out, though, Peanut with the most amount of CS. But now, there it is. Alistar going to go on in, able to find the knockup. But, oh my goodness. Aphelios finding a death very, very quickly here. Will immediately fall down. Banjito going to go golden, but it will be in vain. Can they find it? No, they cannot. Schmur to be now also in trouble here. Following up against the Shen. Will actually get a nice petrifying gaze and be able to knock him off that. With the amount of damage that comes out of Cassiopeia, can be a little bit deceiving here. Able to heal up there off the corrupting pot as well. Damage coming through. Flash, though, coming out from the Shen. That's going to be wonderfully played by Shinneman here. Dredge line going to land onto Koros. That's going to seal his fate. He surely will go down here. There it is. Zaphius now on a rampage. Rift Herald is the prize, and they're going to take it up.
Yeah, really well played fight there on the top side from Invictus, and also nice little solo kill on the bot side for Shinneman, using the taunt flash combo to catch Shmurda beat off guard. But talk a little bit more about that top side. You talked about it, how Waffle Wheel got near exploded, still has flash and heal available, was completely caught out by the damage that he got dealt, and was unable to really do anything in that team fight. We talked about the utility or the uses of this Karthus, and they focused down Peanut, got the shutdown bounty off of his head, but Karthus has a unique passive, which means that even when he's dead, he can kill your entire team if he's left able to do so, and if you don't respect the lay waste that he can put out, the defile if you stand in his area of effect damages, he does a ton of damage as well. So focusing down Peanut is something that they need to be careful with, because it just opens him up to using the Requiem pretty freely without any sort of counterplay. And with the strength that this Karthus has, that Requiem is a big cooldown that Ice really need to keep track of as this game goes on.
They absolutely do here, and you know, Peanut now hitting level 11. The Karthus ultimate now going to be doing well above 400 damage easily. You know, when you add to the fact that he will be picking up those Dark Harvest stacks as well. So a lot of these targets really do run the risk of being popped, or you know, being able to use it as a disengage tool as well. Now Supermark, though, going to use the Umbral Trespass, but there it is. Requiem going to come out. Supermark's dead. Koros going to go down to about 60% HP. You just see the raw power that comes out from this Karthus, able to pretty much turn any fight in their favor just with the amount of damage. Smurda be here, though, not going to find the Petrifying Gaze. Might have used that a little bit too early here. Is going to get ignited and will be ticking away. Atheist is unstoppable now. Picking up another kill here on the Yasuo. 5-1 and 2. And, you know, both the jungler and the mid laner here from Ignitus Esports really doing well for themselves. Able to dominate this early game. A 5-12 kill scoreline here at 17.5 minutes. The Infernal Dragon getting picked up. Obviously, you will scale well with this Karthus indeed. So it is kind of a you know, a difficult situation here for Omega Gaming Ice. You have to ask, you know, what is your win condition when you have pretty much lost control of the map? You know, with Peanut just being absolutely you know, a dominating force to be able to just, you know, press R and kind of ruin your chances of even being able to contest any of these objectives.
Yeah, exactly. And just to quickly touch on the soul we have got, is end up being a Cloud Soul, which is what Karthus is going to be loving in this game. He's going to be reaching up to 30% cooldown reduction on his ultimate alone, which means those Requiems are going to be coming out far more often than Ice would ever want them to be. They're also going to have a nice Morellonomicon pickup from Peanut, actually. You know, the Cinnabook being purchased, not something that is often found anymore, you know, since the whole Morellonomicon golden efficiency claims from analysts across the world. But in this particular game, picking up the Grievous Wounds, and I'll have to hold it as Atheist caught bot.
Up, looking for Shmur to be once again. Petrifying Gaze will land, but Wizard of Diablo there, running around through the Tribush, will be able to get himself the security to run off Shmur to be here. Stand United coming out there from the Shen as well. Means that they're all going to pick up a little bit of assist gold off of that Cassiopeia. Unfortunately, Shmur to be just not having the game of his life here in game number 2. 1 and 6 down the Cassiopeia, just getting constantly focused down by this Ignitus Esports squad. It's making it really, really hard for him to be able to play the game.
Yeah, it really is, and we saw it a little bit in game number 1 as well. You know, whilst Ice were having a great game themselves, Shmurda B also, you know, not to take away from it, did really well on the Orianna, but there was a couple of times where he got caught out in the side lane, in mid, just on his own, not respecting the numbers advantage that was going the way of Ignitus Esports, and it's been amplified this game by the fact that they've been able to send multiple members down. They don't have the same pressure on the map that they did in game number 1. Omega Gaming Ice are really needing to buckle up with Shmurda B in this bot lane and see if he can tighten it up a little bit, keep himself safe in this side lane, and potentially a gank onto Peanut here.
Oh man, you have to ask yourself though if he's able to land it. Yeah, there it is, the lay waste. I mean, yeah, an isolated lay waste there is doing 400 damage to the Cassiopeia. Yeah, you can't take more than one or two of those and feel pretty good about yourself in these fights, even with Supermark there in reserves. He's just going to be able to pick that one off, and Supermark can't even go and contest here. Peanut is 3 levels above him right now at this point in the game. Kane, he has managed to hit his form, so that will, be a little bit of a, feels better for
Yep.
the Kane. I wouldn't say feels good, man, because this whole game does not feel good if you are this Kane right now, having been constantly shut down, and Karthus just being able to get the amount of farm off on you here. Peanut now though coming in to try and turn the tide here once again here, but the shutdown will go on over to Supermark. Wizard of Diablo going to look for the dredge line, but is only going to find the wall there. We'll pull him on in. Graviton going to lock him down there, and that will be a disengaged and a clean 1 kill pickup for Omega Gaming Ice in the mid lane.
Yeah, nice kill. Good to pick it up. They get themselves a little bit of shutdown gold. Only 150 bounty on Shinnemin, but a kill is a kill. And with the amount of starved farm that Supermark has been denied this game, he's going to feel very happy to have a little bit of a cash injection. Going to work his way towards the Black Cleaver so that he can shred down these tanky stats from the Shen and from the Nautilus. And looks like actually, I'm such a big fan of this pickup, recognizing the strength. But Aethys in the bot lane.
Yep, once again, going to be able to show off in the 1v1 here. Yasuo looking for the kill on the course, but he's going to take a lot of tower shots here. Could that be it? No. Teleport going to come in here, but the Requiem could seal his fate. There it is. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Koros was sitting at almost 600 to 700 health and still ended up getting popped by this Karthus ultimate that has not even reached level 16 yet. Dredge line gonna land there onto Banjito as he's gonna step a little too far forward. The depth charge will knock him up, but that will not be an engaged follow-up from the side of Ignitus. They don't really need to at this point. They just have to play a slow, constricting game now. They have the late game unlocked with their jungler here, and I don't really see a way in which Ignitus loses this game. If you want to go and test objectives, Karthus presses R. If you're already on an objective and they want to pull you off of it, Karthus just presses R. And considering the fact that they've been able to get so much control over the map at this point, Karthus' ultimate right now sitting at 129 seconds of cooldown here. If they're able to continue to pick up these Cloud Dragons, if he's able to continue to get himself a little more CDR, it's going to be very, very feels bad for the side of Omega Gaming Ice.
Yeah, so what I hear you saying is don't fight when Karthus has ultimate. So now when you think about that from an Ice perspective, Peanut has just used his ultimate to kill off Chorus. Chorus is now respawned, and they're going to make a play around that.
This is interesting, though. They're going to opt for the Baron up here. They send the Alistar and this Gangplank down towards the bottom side of the map to try and fake it out. But they're just doing the Baron. Just completely under the noses of this of the Ignitus Esports squad. They just pick up the Baron. I mean, there's no vision up there. Shen, right? And it kind of baffles my mind a little bit. I mean, you see the Alistar, you see the Gangplank, so you might be thinking that they're not on it, but there always is the possibility. And the fact that it's not warded, and that they don't even send anybody there to check it, seems a little suspect for me. I don't think that they needed to give up Baron in this situation, but overall, it is a good call from Omega Gaming Ice to be able to say, we're going to trade this temporary Baron buff to try and get us some towers, to try and get us some gold on the map, to try and be able to compete in these team fights. So, I mean, the trade is made. Karthus is one step lower to having a 30% ultimate cooldown reduction, but, maybe you make the trade-off here temporarily.
Yeah, I mean, I think about it from the side of Ignitus Esports right here. You're comfortably sort of 3,000-4,000 gold in the lead. Karthus is Rabadon's death cap just about to be completed. You're thinking there's no way that they're going to try and sneak a Baron from underneath us, and they're in their minds, they have complete control of the game around Peanut and Aethys on these two mid-jungle duo picks. Now, they're thinking that they can dictate the entire way the game is going to be played out. So they think that if they're not at the Baron, then there's no way that Ice will be as well. But it's a really nice call from Ice to steal away the Baron, and already getting themselves a tier 1 turret down bot lane is honestly more than I expected them to get, because Ignitus are still stronger in a team fight. If they go for anything, then they're still going to be stronger than Ice. But we have to, applaud the play from Ice to get themselves the Baron, get themselves the bot lane tier 1 turret as well. And thinking a little bit about how the team fights will play out, we've now got Waffle Wheel on 3 items completed. So with the Phantom Dancer, with the Runaan's Hurricane, if a 5v5 does break out, he's going to be in a good position to deal a lot of damage. The Phantom Dancer shield might keep him alive from the Karthus. Might not, though, because we do have the full Rabadon's Death Cap completed. So Peanut going to be dealing a lot of damage this game.
Absolutely will. Now Schmerderby and Shinneman gonna go head to head here. The Seraph's Embrace is gonna be able to take a lot of that damage up. And there it is. Kills coming across the map here for the side of Omega Gaming Ice. They have so much pressure now. True Shot Barrage, True Shot Barrage. There it is. Shin Kao picks up the kill onto the Gangplank, able to trade one back. Is going to make it a little bit easier for the side of Ignitus here to be able to try and defend against this Baron, as there's no bot lane pressure, but they're just able to pick up these towers now. That's 1, that's 2. Able to pick up these kills, able to pick up the towers here. Very, very important for Omega Gaming Ice. They've, for the first time in this game, picked themselves up a gold lead in this game.
Wow, and let's just talk about the impact of those solo kills and how they're even allowed to come into play. Koros and Schmerderby, Schmerderby though, I'll talk about later.
There it is, Dredge Line. Not going to quite make its mark, but the depth charge will. Wizard of Diablo just going to take a little bit of damage.
Yeah, they get themselves away. You know, nice flash from Schmerderby, forced out from Diablo, and unfortunately a missed hook means that they're not going to get the kill, but Koros and Schmerderby taking the 1 versus 1s versus the other laners. Aethys was 5-1 and 5 on this Yasuo, has 2 completed items, had a BF sword at the time, was so happy to go into a side lane and try and take a 1 versus 1. Koros beats him in the 1v1. Schmerderby, topside, takes down Shinneman with very little MR actually to speak of, has the Spectre's Cowl, but was not enough to withstand 2-item Cassiopeia, who, by the way, has been caught out a load of times, still farming incredibly well, has 2 completed items. The Rylai's, the Seraphs coming through makes it incredibly easy to kite out Shinneman. And then on top of all of that, as if those factors weren't enough for the side of Ignitus to maybe make them win the side lane push, they have to fight against a Requiem as well from Peanut. And this isn't just like a underfed Karthus ulti that's going to be dealing 200 or 300 tickle damage to you if you're high HP. This is Karthus with 3 completed items, 400 gold bounty on the side. So the fact that these solo kills come through from Ice and the solo laners really speaks to their class and the level of play that these guys are playing at.
Yep, and talking about Peanut's Requiem, it is now off of cooldown here, about 30 seconds before this Cloud Dragon spawns, but they might be able to find the pick here onto Wizard of Diablo. Gonna pop the stone plate there, keep himself alive. Atheist there, waiting on the wings. But this should be interesting now. So Shen has the teleport and the Stand United available here. Could be able to use that on the Wizard of Diablo if he goes in. He's gonna get knocked down though. 400, 500 health here in the Nautilus, not where you want to be able to try and fight these kinds of fights. Omega Gaming Ice does not want to give away this Cloud Soul so easily to the side of Ignitus. Yep, they're going to back away here. Shen is able to free push up towards the top side of the map. That's going to be a Cloud Dragon picked up here for OGI. Good play overall. Good onus from the side of Omega Gaming Ice here to be able to get the damage onto Wizard of Diablo. Really did dissuade them from being able to contest there. So good work from both teams here, kind of trading objectives on each side of the map.
Yeah, and if you look at it from Ignitus Esports, that 1 Cloud Drake doesn't particularly mean too much going in the hands of Ice. They're going to be happy to just concede that. They don't have to force a fight right there. That's not a soul. It's not even soul point for Ice. So if they recognize they're at a disadvantage and the fight isn't going to go well for them, then they're happy just to concede it. And you know, good presence of mind for them to realize that, hey, this isn't an important objective, and hey, we managed to get a top lane tier 2 out of it as well. So overall, nice net play from both sides. Denying the Cloud Soul from one side and getting yourself a tier 2 on the other is definitely profitable for both of these sides right now. And Baron has respawned right here. We've got Shen down on the bot side, matched by Koros. Both of these guys have teleport, even Stand United on Shinneman as well if he wants to have more of an impact, get himself there sooner rather than later. And we'll have to see how this 1v1 goes, because with only a Bramble Vest on the side of Shinneman, the damage that he's going to be mitigating isn't high, but fighting them back.
Oh no, there it is, ladies and gents. Ezreal just able to find the slows, able to set up Wizard of Diablo for the dredge line there very nicely. Banjito going to tick away here. Peanut going to find the lay waste as Banjito is wasted there. And that's going to be Baron here for the side of not Invictus because you keep saying it,
Yep.
Ignitus. Unfortunately, Kane going to get spotted out here. Will fall as well. Easy Baron being picked up here by Ignitus. Nothing really that Omega Gaming Ice could do about it, but they are responding with being able to take more towers and even maybe these base turrets here from the side of Ignitus. They're going to be able to put down a little bit of respectable damage there on the bottom lane tier 3, and they're going to take down the bottom lane tier 2, but overall here, going to be a little bit difficult for the side of Omega Gaming Ice. They've got to be able to try and stall out this Baron push for as long as possible. They need to not lose their base on this push. That is going to be absolutely vital for this squad if they want to be able to survive in this late game.
Yep, they really need to now weather this Baron storm, see if they can keep themselves afloat with this Baron power play. And we've seen it before where these side lanes of Ice find advantages and somehow take 1 versus 1. So what I'd like to see is if you're the side of Ignitus Esports, just group up as 5. You know, the side lane plays hasn't been working out for you. Schmerderby and Koros have consistently been getting the better of you, and maybe they're going to feel confident to 1-3-1 this time with a even with a level 16 Karthus ultimate backing them up. But we'll have to see if they can play out their comp how they want to. It looks like they're opting for, at the very least, a 1-4 style, because if you're keeping Shen, you really don't want him in your lane. You know, the Stand United is going to be wasted if it's there. But nice actual presence of mind from Koros. Was fighting with Shinneman the entire time that Baron fight was going, so that he couldn't use the Stand United. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to create a favourable fight on the top side, but you know, good idea nonetheless to get that fight going in the top side and even winning out on it, getting the solo kill.
Yeah, I do just want to point out right now that the Requiem, before you calculate the magic resistive champions, would be doing 972 damage just base. So, I mean, it makes it so difficult for you to be able to even take these fights. I mean, most of the members of the side of Omega Gaming Ice, you know, have, if even that, 200 HP. So, yep, here comes the Requiem once again. Schmerderby there, going to get knocked down. You see it, almost 1,000 HP going on down. Schmerderby here, going to be in some trouble, going to go golden, not once, but twice. Flash coming out there, trying to save his life. Supermark, though, trying to pick up the kill. It is a level 18 Yasuo with the Stand United coming in from Shen. Can he find the kill? Yes, he can. Able to pick that one up now. The Cannon Barrage coming in. The slows coming on through, but now in the mid lane here, Banjito going to go on in into Peanut here. We'll be able to get the shut down onto that Karthus. Waffle Wheel, though, able to kite, able to dash and dart around here, able to pick up the kills. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, a one-team fight, and a huge one here for the side of Omega Gaming Ice, winning fights across the map, make it a 1-4-4 trade overall.
Waffle Wheel and Banjito just 2v3'd the bot lane and the jungle underneath their turret of Ignitus Esports right there. Neither of them fell. Double kill went the way of Banjito, but Waffle Wheel got himself so far away from the Karthus and the Ezreal that they were in no position to follow up. Banjito playing the dive near perfectly to create enough space for Waffle Wheel to, first of all, take out Wizard of Diablo, and then follow up with Shinkal, who ended up flashing and arcane shifting in to try and get the kill onto this Death Stance, or not even Death Stance Ezreal, but just 3-item Ezreal with the Conqueror stacked up. Wonderful play on the bot, defending their base from the bot lane, and then also Supermark coming through to support Schmerderby in the bot lane. Koros TP down as well. Really nice use of the double Zhonya's active from Schmerderby. Played it super well, got himself enough time for Supermark to get down into the bot lane and pick up the kill onto Aethys, and even with the Stand United coming through wasn't enough. Black Cleaver completed for Supermark is going to deal the damages to cut through Aethys even at level 18, even with the Bloodthirster wasn't enough to keep himself alive. And you know, we talked about these Ice solo laners making plays even against the deficit, and that's exactly what we saw right there.
It's actually pretty impressive, the comeback that Omega Gaming Ice has laid for themselves here. Just looking back on this game, it was pretty one-sided in the favor of Ignitus for the majority of this game, but they've been able to extend this game out long enough now to where both teams are on sole point. They've been able to pick themselves up Barons, and those have been traded back and forth between these two teams, and they've gotten themselves adequate compensation on the map in the form of turrets and standing gold to continue to maintain a slight lead and advantage against Ignitus Esports here as we continue to move into the late game. The level discrepancies, though, definitely are still there, but only slightly. So, in all honesty, I couldn't have seen a way that Omega Gaming Ice is able to punish the mistakes of Ignitus any better than this. Cannon Barrage now, there will be a fight here coming out. Requiem going to get called in. That could be the death here for Koros. Going to get knocked down extremely low. Looking for the barrel chains, looking for the damage here, trying to get Banditos out. The slow will be enough to be able to save them there. Well played here by the side of Omega Gaming Ice after realizing they did not want that fight, will not lose any members, and that means that turret up towards the top side will go down, and there are no more outer turrets standing for the side of Ignitus.
Yeah, and somehow it appears that Ice have taken all of the outer turrets before Ignitus. Ignitus still are yet to claim that bot lane tier 2 of Ice, and they're standing proud behind that, trying to defend it. And the fight down in the bot side was so huge that Koros actually flashed the final Mystic shot from Shinkal that would have taken him down. Really value flash, got himself away from the final skill shot that would have been his doom. And with that all being said and done, both the supports and top lane are able to reset. Baron now live on the map, and Ice are here first. We'll have to wait and see if they go for a rush. Wouldn't expect them to, but with Shmurda B Arcside, they're quite happy to rush this.
They can do it. They can do it. There's no ultimate from the Karthus here. That's their Baron and Nasher. They're going to be able to pick that one up here, rude dude. And in spectacular fashion here, Omega Gaming Ice showing that they still have control over their destiny in the UML playoffs, looking to try and wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I stand completely corrected right there. I forget that Aphelios is a broken champion and can just do Baron at will with the Chakram stacked up, and he had about 10 stacked, meant that he was melting through that Baron, and I thought Cassiopeia's not there, maybe their Baron's quite slow, but I was just entirely wrong, and Koros might be looking for a pick. Oh!
Looking for now Shmurda B, though. He never recalled, ladies and gents. He's going to be able to pick that one up off of the back of a good play there from Omega Gaming. Ice is able to get the pick. They have advantage. They have Baron buff, ladies and gents. That's going to be the mid lane tier 3 now going down along with its inhibitor. They're going to be able to push these waves right on in. They have the advantage here. As long as they do not take too much poke damage from this Karthus, they should be able to slowly but surely get these down. The dredge line not going to land onto a champion. Will hit a minion instead. Atheist going to be in a little bit of danger there. Take a lot of damage on the way in. Shmurda B going golden with the flash out now. Will be able to knock down Shinnon, but the Requiem has arrived. But it's not going to be enough here. Wizard of Diablo will fall. The last defender of Atheist is there. Can he get away? There's nothing he can do. That's going to be the ace here for Omega Gaming Ice, and in spectacular fashion, ladies and gentlemen, they come back in game number 2, and they sweep out this 0-2 in week number 2 of the UML playoffs.
What a tremendous comeback from Omega Gaming Ice. They were sat staring down the barrel of a 6-kill Karthus with just the one death. Requiem locked and loaded to make their lives even more difficult, but at the end of the day, some magnificent play from their solo laners. Shmurda B and Koros picking up those 2 kills against the Baron was ultimately what turned the fight back in their the game back in their favor. And Waffle Wheel throughout that game was actually never really looked like he was in danger of falling at any particular point. Picked himself up the GA and Death Stance as the last 2 items, and that's 422 CS in a 38-minute game. He was farming up those minions as best that he can, and with it all being said and done, it takes the series to a swift 2-0. Very well played by Ice. First game was super convincing. Second game looked a little bit ropey, but they came through and they won out in the end anyway.
You really do just have to hand it to them here. This is the reason why, they are one of the strongest teams in this tournament, despite having the 3rd seed coming out of the Ocean Division, which was easily considered one of the strongest divisions here in this tournament. And you're seeing it right here. They know how to play from behind. They know how to carry in the early game as well. it does not matter. I mean, they've just been extremely strong, and I'm so excited to see these guys continue their playoff run. I'm excited to see them as they continue their run through the losers bracket, and I just got to hand it to them. Just really, really well played.
It really was. They take two. I'm still just shocked that Ice managed to come back in that game, and the power of their solo laners, Chorus in particular. We look at those damage graphs right there. He had the most damage on his team. Obviously, not managing to quite out damage the Karthus because Requiem is a very strong damage across many members type ability that really can't be combated in terms of late game potential. But Ice managed to do so. They managed to take down the Karthus, and in that late game team fight right there, it's kind of funny seeing Shmurda B. He managed to dodge the taunt out from the Shen, but then when he was kiting back, found himself kiting into 4 members of the enemy team and just went golden, saved himself, used the flash to get back out, and in that golden period that he had, the rest of the boys, Waffle Wheel came through with the damage, Koros as well, and not to mention Banjito probably doing a lot of work catching up with catching out the carries, and Yasuo really, with the advantage that he had in the mid game, wasn't able to translate that into a late game advantage in any way.
Absolutely, indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, we're probably going to round out the broadcast here for tonight. Omega Gaming Ice will play against the winner of University of Connecticut and Akuma Scimitars in the other match, and that'll be next week at the 24th of July, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Ladies and gentlemen, it was wonderful casting once again here for Omega Gaming Eyes. Thank you all for coming to the broadcast. I am the Idea PC, joined by Rude Dude here for this Omega Gaming Esports production. And ladies and gentlemen, we will see you next week with some more action coming out of the UML as Omega Gaming Ice continues their run through the playoffs. We're going to be closing out the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all and have a wonderful evening.